I'm Sam Roberts. I'm the Enterprise Sales Director here at Crimson Tide. This morning, we'll be going through our latest release of the mobile application on MPro 5. We have two key components to MPro 5. That one is the web client. The most recent update was Project 13, which some of you may have seen. And today's is, we're back to the alphabetical naming convention for the mobile application, which is Juliet and Romeo. We've got three key features to show you this morning. I'm going to hand over to Tom England. Tom is Head of Development here at Crimson Tide, and he'll be taking you through the main thrust of the updates for the mobile application. So I'm going to mute out, and over to you, Tom.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you very much for that intro. So there's a lot more to this release than just three features, but we're going to go through the headline features in this webinar. Otherwise, going through each and every detail would probably be rather laborious for everyone, I think, and take rather too long. So I'm just going to crack in. So really, the three main features are, number one, we are doing a big upgrade, I think it's fair to say, to what was previously called Doc Store is now called Resources, to really fully justify the name of Resources. So previously, you could upload PDFs, images, which was very useful for a lot of our customers. However, it was a little bit limiting in terms of, well, you can't upload Word files or Excels or zip files or videos or audio. So we are implementing support for all of those different file types. So we're starting off with the sort of usual suspects first, and then we'll expand that support on a case-by-case basis, so that we're starting off really with Word and Excel, zip files, audio and video. And then if you guys want to request more file types or different file types, then we're happy to implement support for that as well. We have surpassed the technical limitations which stopped us from doing that previously. So the second big one is in-app customer branding. So we have in the past said that we allow you to brand your reports, and we allow you to brand certain sections of the application and the website. However, the largest sort of splash of the hub page, the MPro 5 at the top, has to be MPro 5. So again, we're listening to customer feedback on this, and we appreciate that. Although MPro 5 is a platform and is our product, the way that it is used by our customers means that it's in many ways their product as well on a very individual basis. So we're trying to react to that and allow customers to have their own with certain constraints in terms of formats to make it work technically with the ability to theme the application, and also obviously size constraints, have their own logo appear in the hub screen. So the other big upgrade which we've done in this release is we've essentially done a ground-up rewrite of order forms. So some of you may not necessarily be familiar with that feature set. Essentially, it allows you to record sales and returns for individual products. It's actually a pretty beefy, complex feature set. So again, I won't go into too much detail about this. If you do want to know more, then you can contact your account manager or our sales team or me personally. I'll give out my email at the end of this webinar. But we've done a ground-up rewrite to make sure that basically it works as well as it can do. We've added a number of new look and feel tweaks as well, in addition to just making sure that the platform which we're now building on is as firm as possible to really push order forms forward in the coming months. As my slide beautifully shows here, this is really the sort of full move from Doc Store to Resources, because it allows you to put on there many more different types of resources and files to use. I will switch over quickly to my screen mirroring software. So you can see here, first off, we've changed the way that you interact with the Doc Store. So instead of just being given a great big long list of items, by default, it's split up between different file types. In our opinion, that makes it a little bit of an easier system to use because you know exactly what you're drilling down to. However, the old style interface is still there if you press the button in the submenu, which allows you to switch back to the original, or something similar to the original look and feel, if that's relevant. So if I now drill into PDF, so you can see, again, we've tried to make this more of a resource center. So instead of having a static list of items, having items as a thumbnail, as well as being able to giving users the ability to add more types of files to the device. Again, we want to make sure that we support previous behavior as well, though, so no breaking changes. And here you can see that you can switch back to the old list style view if that's relevant. So hopefully you can see that we've tried to sort of really put in a lot of thought into how the UI for this particular screen and feature set works, and also in terms of the feature set which you now have with the increased support for pretty much any file type you want. So the next one, which you probably saw a sneak peek of there, which is customizing your mPro5, because that is very much the way that we think about an mPro5 installation. It is your mPro5, you know, you own the data, it's your system. You tell us what flows to configure. So if I switch back to my device here, you can see that I've inserted the Crimson Tide logo at the top here. So this is in matching the theme, but we can put any logo here which you guys want in order to better customize the experience for your end users and make it more of your application rather than our application. So next up is the upgraded order forms. So as I say, there's a lot of bits and pieces to this particular feature set. So I think I'll just launch in and show you. So I've set up a job here. So if anybody was familiar with the way that order forms worked originally, they were based on the sort of current look and feel of grids, which there's nothing wrong with, but potentially doesn't work as well as one would expect for a more order form style input where you have a defined number of rows and defined number of columns. So again, we've tried to have a think about the way that a user would actually use this in the real world. The way that this is configured at the moment, you can set the price, you can set the sales, and the returns, and I've got the line total here working so that it will calculate the sales and returns on that basis. And you can see here we've got our column totals down the bottom here. I've got this particular order form set up so that it only requires one input to be a valid order form to complete. But you can obviously, there are multiple different validation methods, whether that is ensuring that all products added have a quantity, whether all products added have either a quantity or a return. So you know that it's been touched in some way. That actually nothing's required at all. You can complete an empty order form. At the moment, all of these columns are set up as being pre-populated as 0. And again, that's another configuration option which you've got. You can pre-populate them as null if you'd like. So in addition to that, we've also thought that the way that products were presented to end users potentially could do with some enhancement. So at the moment, you can see here the product code and the product name, again, because that's how it's configured to work. So you see X001 and green apples. But there's also a lot of information which is hidden behind that, which you can't necessarily see immediately, which might be useful for your end user to be able to look at. So it's not just that it's green apples, but it's, you know, there's the product description as well, the Granny Smith green apples from South Africa. You know that the unit of measure that's being measured in is crates, and the batch size is 200. So again, that's relevant information or not. Again, it's configurable for your end user as they're filling out the new order forms. So actually, complete that. So that I think is all we've got to show from a show and tell point of view for this release webinar. As I said, there are lots of other bits and pieces which we have in this release, which are sort of minor bug fixes, tweaks, some look and feel improvements elsewhere. But those are our sort of big 3 items which will be coming. So as it says here, this update will be available pretty shortly. In fact, it will be available on Thursday, all being well, on Valentine's Day for the Juliet Romeo release. The iOS release might come a couple of days afterwards, as it needs to pass through certification, but the Android release should be out on the 14th.
So, any questions from the floor for Tom? Anyone raising their hand there, Tom? Any questions to come back? Or is anyone allowed to speak?
They should be. They might need to unmute themselves. I'm a bit scared of unmuting all in case everybody suddenly starts shouting. But I will give that a go. Is anybody trying to put their hand up?
It's Graham from Koenig & Bauer here.
Hi, Graham.
Quick question in terms of the document files to upload on images. Would that be all image type files that would be able to be uploaded?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, as long as there's an application on the device that's installed that can open it, whatever file type that is, you should be able to open it from the new resources screen.
Okay, and would we then be able to attach those into the job tickets themselves as we would normally be able to do?
Yeah.
The documents?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
So just so everybody else is aware, that's the concept of being able to add documents directly to specific jobs on a per job basis. So for instance, if you had a purchase order for a particular job, you'd be able to upload a PDF or a Word file in that particular example.
Great. Well, thanks, Tom. So if there are no more questions, what we'll do is we'll obviously we've got a list of everyone that have attended the call. We've recorded the webinar this morning, so we can send that out if you want to watch it over and over again. If it's that's exciting. Any questions? Do email Tom, myself, or anybody any of your regular contacts, and it'll find out its way over to Tom. But if that's all for now, have a great day, and look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.